Right, this isn't a video I wanted to have to make, but for the last 5 months, Joel has been in prison. And about a week ago, he was shivved. That's kind of why there hasn't been any activeness on the channel. And I figured, might as well bring it back. So now you guys are stuck with me. Kia ora, my name is Anthony, and this is how to not work on cars.
Psych! You thought! Alright guys, what's going on? Jokes aside, the videos are going to be returning, and yes, I've gone and broken my hand. I've gone and done myself a mischief. However, that is not going to stop us. For the last, I probably haven't uploaded a video in about 4 months. Yeah, about March, April. Yeah, 4 months since the last upload, and pretty much ever since I started working full time, YouTube just kind of got put on the back burner. I don't really burn myself out too much, but I just, decided that I just wanted to take a little break, and the break ended up being a little bit longer than I had anticipated. A bit has gone on off camera, but also at the same time, not much has happened. Now we're gonna be getting right back into the swing of things, and we have the Drift South season coming up. We have a lot to talk about in this video. About a month ago, we started pulling apart what used to be my S14 so we can get it ready for the new season, because I have actually sold it, but I've sold it to a friend of mine, James, and luckily for me, he's still letting me use it to compete in Drift South this season. It's because, you guys won't know this either, Anthony's S14 that we were going to be building for him, that's now my car. You might be asking yourself, why would Anthony go and sell that? He wants to get into drifting. Stay tuned for the next video. You guys can see here, the S14 is now in pieces. We did film a little bit of that about a month ago, so I will roll that footage now, and then we'll jump back in, and then we'll continue talking about what the hell has actually been going on and what we've got coming up in the future. So at the end of the season, there were 2 track days that we didn't actually end up filming. I did the final round of Drift South, which went how the first 2 rounds did. I sucked. Then we went to Kaikoura, and unfortunately, I blew my big box. We pulled the engine out, and we had to figure out exactly what had gone wrong with the gearbox, because the car wouldn't move at all. So I knew that we hadn't blown a gear. We ended up realizing that I had blown an input shaft, and I spent probably about a month trying to find a gearbox that had blown a gear set so I could take the input shaft out of that to fix the other one. However, couldn't find it, so the other weekend we went down to Timaru to pick some stuff up to do with Anthony's vehicle that you guys don't know about. We went and picked up this fresh gearbox down here. We could pretty much chuck the engine and gearbox back in this thing once we clean the engine bay up. This car is finally going to be getting painted as well. So this season, it's not going to look like a complete sack of shit. So that's gonna be good. Apart from that, the car's gonna be pretty much the same. Same angle kit, same majority of everything else. I brought a whole lot of wheels that are matching as well. Hey, on the car, they are. Last season, I had a whole lot of different wheels, and this season I really want to make the car look a lot more professional in Drift South. So I've gone and brought myself another 2 sets of these wheels. When we're changing, obviously, the rear wheels, we're going to be putting the same ones on, so it's not going to have heaps of different wheels, so I'm stoked on that. There's a bunch of other small things that we're going to do that are just more aesthetics and how the inside of the car is going to look. But yeah, performance wise, it's pretty much going to be the same car. It's a very capable car. I just need to not suck. One of the biggest changes that you guys will notice about this car, aside from it obviously being painted, is we are going to a facelift front end. This is something that James, who now owns this car, wanted to do. Now, I am very good at coming up with ideas and getting ahead of myself. So the reason why I sold this car to James was so I could start funding this. Before I sold this car to James, I had actually already purchased the shell off Anthony, and the plan with this was to build a car for D1. And yes, I wanted to do D1 next season.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Anyway, I have now purchased this car, and I've also purchased quite a few bits and pieces for it as well. We come over here. I have brought myself a Jericho 5-speed dog box, and then if we come over here, we are going Jay-Z with this car, baby. So this car is not a car that's going to get built until next year. I just want to focus on doing Drift South this season, and this car, me and Anthony have got some plans to do some other builds so we can get some content going for you guys, and hopefully build and flip a couple of cars, and then by the end of it we'll probably end up being able to put a decent bit of money into building that car. And Anthony also would like to build himself a D1 car for next season. I had said before that Anthony has brought himself a new car. You guys will find that out in the next video. But Anthony is also going to be competing in Drift South this season, so I'm stoked on that. Both of us are going to be driving. It's going to be awesome. We've been wanting to do that for a long time now. So a few things have been done to the old Seppi here. Off camera, you guys can see that this now has a motor. This is one of the things we didn't actually end up filming when we put this in. And it has been completely wired up now. We took this car to Dylan James. That doesn't open. Sick. You guys can see through that. It's all been wired up now. The plan for this car all along was to be a basic entry-level drift car, to be a giveaway car. And the plan for the car itself is still to be just an entry-level drift car. But Araki actually had decided a long time ago at this point, probably like
months ago.
Yeah, probably like at the start of the year, that he didn't actually want to end up giving this car away. He wanted to do something else with it. I'm not going to go ruining that. I'll let him tell you guys what's going on. Obviously, a lot of you guys would have already heard about everything that's going on with him at the moment, so hopefully he gets all that sorted. But yeah, we are still going to be finishing this car off. At this stage, it doesn't really need that much more work. We need to bleed the brakes up. We need to put the interior in, radiator, intercooler piping, and just a few other small bits and pieces, and then this car will be good to go off for paint. We are wanting to get back into the whole filming side of things full swing now. We're not going to be going straight back into how it was before we stopped filming, where it was kind of, 2-3 videos a week. Both of us are working full time now, so we're hoping to be able to do at least one video a week. It'd be nice to be able to do heaps of videos, but yeah, just with working full time, it's not super realistic. And I also want to move away from making one video out of doing nothing. We might end up putting a turbo on a car, and instead of making that an entire video, we want to make one video where there's actually like quite a lot going on. We want to make the videos a lot more entertaining and a lot more impactful. So there's going to be less content, but the goal is to make the content a lot better. We're also going to be rebranding the channel too. This is something that we had initially talked about ages ago, actually inspired by my crash with Jimmy Oakes. We are going to be rebranding the YouTube channel to Stacked, and it's going to become more of a journey following both me and Anthony to achieve our goals. When I started this YouTube channel, I started it with the pure goal in mind to build an online following so I could be more attractive to things like sponsors for drifting. My goal has always been to compete at a top level in drifting. I've always wanted to compete in D1 Pro. It's taken longer to get to where I want to be, but yeah. We've also got Anthony's Laurel build coming up. He hasn't got rid of that, and the plan for us at this point is we're going to do probably the first round of Drift South. We need to get the Safiro done and out of the way, and then we're going to paint the Laurel, tidy it up. Probably going to put a new motor in it. The forged motor is going to come out and it's going to sit on the side, and then tidy it up, enjoy it a little bit, and then we want to sell it on. When Anthony brought that car, he actually took a loan out for it. So what we want to do is we're going to pay that loan off, and we're going to use that money to put into building the next car. As I said, we are going to be taking the Forge motor out of that car, and the next build that we do after the Laurel is done is going to get that motor, and we'd like to do like a 700-800 horsepower fun street car that's probably going to be a bit crazier than what the Laurel was.
Yeah, a bit more than just a fun street car, but she'll be good.
Like I said, both of us are going to be doing Drift South the season coming, and then the following season, both of us would like to hopefully be in a position that we can both do D1NZ and do like a team thing. Both of us are getting pretty good on the sim, which is actually another thing that I will show you guys. You guys will remember that I used to have a S14 that initially came with an RB25 in it, and it pretty much just sat as a shell once I pulled that motor out, and it's just sat around for ages. I decided that I really wanted to start taking drifting a lot more seriously, so I sold that shell and I spent a ridiculous amount of money on this drift simulator here. Huge shout out to Speed Nation for giving me a hookup on all this gear. I was supposed to make an unboxing video on that, but between losing some of the footage and just being an absolute muppet and not actually putting things together, that video never came. But yes, big shout out to Speed Nation for this sim setup. What we have here is a full Moser sim rig. I've got a Elite Racing cockpit, and we've got the Moser R9 wheel. We've also got the Moser CRP load cell pedals. These are the best pedals that they make, and they are phenomenal. We also got the Moser handbrake, Moser shifter. We have HP Reverb 2 VR. And honestly guys, this has done so much for my driving. It is insane. Unfortunately, I have broken my hand, but before I broke my hand, I was getting to the point where I was consistently being able to door people in the 1,000 horsepower VDC cars, and I cannot wait to see just how much all this sim practice is going to translate to the real world this season in Drift South. I'm super stoked, can't wait, and unfortunately my hand is a bit of a setback, but that's life, shit happens. So yeah, once this heals up, we're going to get right back on the sim. I want to make some sim content for you guys as well, if that's something you guys are going to be interested in. These guys also have a pretty gangster sim at home now. Matt, the guy behind the camera, he's gone and brought himself, well, he's halfway there to getting a full Moser setup. He actually has a better wheelbase than me. I have the R9 and he's got the R12, which is essentially the newer version of the R9, and that's pretty sick. You guys are enjoying that quite a bit, eh?
It goes blooming good.
Yeah, the other cool thing is both me and Anthony have been tandeming with each other quite a lot on it, especially now that we're both going to have drift cars for Drift South. We're going to be doing a lot of tandems this season on the sim and in real life, and I'm stoked, can't wait.
Got a fucking steering problem, bro.
Well guys, I hope this video wasn't too jumbled around. Hope it makes sense to a lot of you guys what's been going on, and you know what the future plans are. There's probably been quite a few things I've missed. Like I said, it's been 4 months since I last uploaded a video, so stay tuned for the future content. The next video, which will be coming out a week from today, will be us picking up Anthony's new car, and like I said, I want to be making the videos a lot more impactful, so we're going to pick the car up and take it straight to Kaikoura. Enjoy.